Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review, and back on Halloween month. And I would say back to reviewing another werewolf movie, really enough. And it's another favorite of mine that I also watched a lot. I don't consider it like a child. I don't consider it a childhood favorite though, because I guess I started watching it like later, like started like in the late '90s, early 2000s though, but still. Yeah, so it's considered not a big childhood film, but I watched it a lot though back in during those times. But I still enjoy the film. I still enjoy it. It's still another one of my favorite Stephen King films, and it's another good werewolf film. And this one I'm reviewing is Stephen King's Silver Bullet, which granted on this cover here is not the best looking though, because I would probably prefer like how the original cover is, like how it shows Cory Haim in the middle right here with the silver bullet. I don't know, especially with this kind of Stephen King directed, the Stephen King DVD covers that shows Stephen King with this orange thing. It shows the image right here, like like Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. I prefer I have the one with the original cover on. Like I don't like the other DVD cover for Stephen King's Graveyard Shift, because it has like the cover says this and has the rats on it though. I prefer the original cover that I have on my shelf right there. That has more like on the poster, so that's why I have that though. But this one, it's all right though. But I prefer like the other one that shows Cory Haim with the in the middle right here with the silver bullet. But it's not bad looking though. It shows like the werewolf right here. But anyway, like I said, it's based on is a short story. No, it's based on a novella by Stephen King, originally called Cycle of the Werewolf, and it stars Gary Busey and Cory Haim. May rest in peace, Cory Haim. Everett McGill, and you got it's a pretty decent, a very I would say solid three cast members right there. And Cory Haim, it sucks that he's now passed away. I guess it was like I figure it was like drugs and stuff like that, which is a shame though. But Gary Busey, who I also always enjoyed, and of course nowadays he does have nothing to do nowadays, sadly. And Everett McGill from People on the Stairs and Under Siege 2, and of course Twin Peaks as the Reverend. So, and also we also have as the sheriff you have Terry O'Quinn, who was like who played the original stepfather. So we got pretty decent cast, and 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 of course it's also it's produced by Dino De Laurentiis, who's producing a lot of horror stuff as well, but like some other Stephen King stuff, and even Halloween 2, and I think even 3 as well, and also Orca the Killer Whale. So Dino De Laurentiis is producing a lot of things as well, and also even on Hannibal, and even Red Dragon. I think even one of the last films that he did was on the crappy one, Hannibal Rising. Sadly though, but yeah, Dino De Laurentiis. I think he's a very good producer as well. And the director of the film is Daniel Attias. He directed this film, but he's done directed like a lot of episodes for a lot of TV shows. Let me just look at all the TV shows for episodes he's done, like True Blood, Homeland, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, House, Entourage. So a lot of other popular TV shows, but sadly this is the only film that he's directed, and which is like also pretty much the same with what was the guy the director of Stephen King's Graveyard Shift, Singleton was something S Singleton. I already forgot the guy's first name. But yeah, S Singleton, which is also he directed a Stephen King film, Graveyard Shift. And that was the only film he directed. And same with this guy. Why is it with like this is like the second Stephen King film I review right as of right now though, and where two films I just reviewed, including this one, where it's the directors the only films they directed. And what is up with that? I have no idea. They seem like have some good potential for making some good film, one good film. I don't know why they couldn't go on to make another one. But anyway, yeah. But I think it's another good werewolf film. Even though the full reveal of the werewolf doesn't come in until like pretty much like the end of the movie. But it's like you see like some little bits of it like the arms and stuff, and after this you get some good kills in the movie, some good blood and some good gore as well. And the look of the werewolves are really well done. So, yeah, even though when you look at the suit, it's not much. But I would still rather see this werewolf some crappy CGI werewolf, or even I would put some werewolf effects like Bad Moon, which I also just reviewed. That's a werewolf I would say is, the quality of look of the werewolf I would say is much better looking than this one though, but. I don't think the werewolf suit is not that bad. I would still take it over a crappy CG werewolf. But for our three main cast members, like Gary Busey, I thought he did a really good job. Same with Cory Haim, may he rest in peace. Everett McGill as the Reverend Lowe, and the woman who played her Cory Haim's sister, Megan Follows as Jane. I thought she did fine as well. Terry O'Quinn for the little role he has as the sheriff, he was fine as well. And it opens up with a narration by the character Jane, who is older though. So you have an older Jane narrating the story. So it's like a big flashback as she's telling it. Yeah, so you have an older Jane narrating the movie, telling what happened when she was a girl. And when it opens up, he had this guy working on this this railroad, and he drinks though. But immediately the werewolf comes and just immediately takes his head off, and he uses a really good effect where his head just gets taken off, and he sees the blood after that. And they assume that it was an accident because he was a drinker, so they assume he somehow decapitated himself. But it's a good kill, how the way the werewolf goes and takes his head off. And then we cut to with this party with Cory Haim, who plays Marty, who is in a wheelchair. He has a wheelchair named Silver Bullet, and it's a powered wheelchair, so he can move on his own. And he's with his friend Brady, and they do a little practical joke on his sister, which he kind of feels bad after that because she lands in a muddy puddle. And you have this the next werewolf's next victim is this woman who is pregnant with this guy, but then the guy leaves her, and she's trying to quietly commit suicide by taking these pills though. But the werewolf climbs up to her room and crashes through the window, and because you really see that it really scrapes the crap out of her, which you see her skin is being clawed up and stuff, on her back, and I thought it was a well done kill because you really see skin really starting to peel off as the werewolf is clawing at her. So it didn't really matter because she was about to commit suicide anyway, so she wanted to die anyway. So the werewolf did her a favor. So she wanted to die anyway, but then I guess the girl's mother goes up there and she sees her dead and she's like, ah! And then the next I guess later on that night you have Cory Haim is visited by his Uncle Red, played by Gary Busey, which I thought Gary Busey was fun to watch. and I guess he's as his mother's brother, because how he has some problems because he also drinks as well, but he kind of like start making like an ass out of himself. But even though he cares about his nephew though, but is not with his problems like being like a sort of like a screw up basically. But I enjoy Gary Busey, so it was likable. I'm glad that he didn't die in this. Like usually he dies in most of his movies though, but. Well, I'm glad because like, he has like a bit of a decent fight with the werewolf at the end. But anyway, and then you get the next werewolf kills. There was this girl that Marty kind of liked, and I guess like he's like the drunken father. He's like when he says the line he says when he's referring to Marty, he's like, "Damn cripple, always ended up on welfare." He's the drunken father. He's watching a boxing match and he hears some noises in the greenhouse. So he goes in there, and then the werewolf comes through the floorboards. He starts dragging him in, but there's like a piece of wood sticking out, a pointy end, and he gets stabbed right in here, and he falls in as the werewolf kills him even more. And the people are starting to be the people of the town are starting to be afraid because they might have a serial killer on the loose, and there was like because there's supposed to be like a curfew, supposed to come in early, but then of course because to get to the next victim is Marty's friend Brady. He's out flying the kite. He's out flying a kite, and he's also supposed to be out late though. But then later in the night, his father comes in, and which I thought was a thing. How it was kind of like glad that they didn't show his body, because you see the next shot you see Terry O'Quinn. He's dragging the kid's kite. It has blood on it. He's saying, "Hail Mary, full of grace," and you see a wide shot of the body that's covered up though in this I forget what this thing is called though, but. You see, it's like a wide shot, but the camera starts slowly zooming in. So you kind of get, I guess, that he was torn to pieces, he was mutilated. So that aspect, I thought, like, I'm glad they didn't quite show it to just keep you how bad in suspense, like, how he was really mutilated. And the father, he comes in, and it just shows him. It doesn't show the body. He has, like, the reaction, he's like, ah. So, and then they have his funeral. Still eating M&Ms. Say like one of my favorite. Honestly, let's say it's one of my favorite candies. By the way, yeah. And you see Everett McGill as as Reverend Lowe, and like the people of the town, they're gonna go out with what they think is a serial killer, and like the Reverend comes like he's like no, don't do this, but they said go away, Reverend. And they get a nice eerie shot where the hunters they're in the woods, and then some of the people they're walking into a fog bank like from the waist below. And the werewolf sneaks up on them and gets one guy and throws him, and you get this one other you could say like the bartender who was who has his bat, the peacemaker. He like hits that kill times like, oh you son of a bitch, Pam. And then the shows the werewolf, he gets the bat and he starts beating him to death with it. And then it shows what is a dream. It's a dream sequence where it's the Reverend, and you see how like everyone's transforming into werewolves, which is a good shot where it's a good looking shot where everyone's transforming into werewolves. Now I would say yeah, this is sort of one that's where whoever did the script for this, who did the script for this? Oh yeah, Stephen King helped do the script. Which, because of course it would make sense because he wrote like pretty much all the movies that were from his adaptations. But if it was true that Stephen King he was responsible for this, that I think they kind of was a little bit screwed up on this for the script, because it makes a reveal that it's the Reverend who is the werewolf, because his dream, because who else would dream that people are turning into werewolves, and it's the Reverend, and it's the Reverend who's being attacked in the dream, and wakes up saying no. I think that kind of was like a little bit of a messed up on the thing with the script, because they just gave away who was the werewolf. Because usually it's like towards the end of the movie where it's a mystery, like who is the werewolf. It could be anybody. But I thought that was kind of a messed up point right there, because even though it doesn't bother me now though, but it's the point that they just all of a sudden they feel like they just want to give away who was the werewolf right away. And of course, because it shows, because who else would dream he's being attacked by werewolves unless he's the werewolf himself, and that's the Reverend. So I thought that was like the one nitpick I have with the movies, that they just already suddenly just too soon just revealed who the werewolf is. I mean, if that's Stephen King's, it says he is who did help. He wrote the screenplay of it though, but. Like I said, it's a nitpick though, but it's a nitpick that you cannot avoid, because you already see it right now. But I'm just pointing out, because they're just like, they throw out who's a werewolf already like too early, and they just don't usually wait till the mystery till the end of the movie. Because by this point now you know who is the werewolf, and by this time Gary Busey has made a new wheelchair for Marty, and it's a real power motorcycle. It's like a motorcycle / wheelchair. Make him go really fast, and he also gives some fireworks that because he wanted to see fireworks, so he gives him a little pack of fireworks. And until one night where he sneaks out on his own in his wheelchair. He goes like to a little bit of where a river is, and he has his own little fireworks show. And then the werewolf shows up, and he got a really Marty really has a good moment where he sees the werewolf is coming up towards him, and he's trying to light that firework, and he does, and it shoots the werewolf right in the eye, this eye to be exact. And I thought that was like a good moment. I was like, okay, she shoots the firework right in the eye. Even though you have the thing is, oh, what if he missed? And he would have been dead though. But still, I thought that was like a really cool way to shoot at a werewolf is with a firework. So he gets on his bike, he runs, he races back home. He tells his Uncle Red, but he doesn't believe him. And he tells his sister though, so she goes along with it. She doesn't. She doesn't like straight up believe him though, but she'll go along with it anyway. So I like when she starts collecting cans from the people of town just to get a look, because Mariah says he got one of the eyes, so whoever is the werewolf is obviously missing an eye. But of course we know who that is, because it was already been revealed who the werewolf is. So by the time when she gets to the Reverend's place with all of the cans in his garage, of course she sees the Reverend has a missing eye right here. So she gets fried, and she runs all the way back to Marty. Of course, like I said, it's already revealed that he is the werewolf, so it doesn't matter now. But it's quite obvious that she sees him now, he's the werewolf. But and then Marty like writes him a letter saying, if you're aware, if you know who you are, then he says, why don't you kill yourself? But he doesn't want to kill, because I know he says he doesn't want to kill himself because he's a reverend. Of course, killing himself is like the ultimate sin, so that's why he doesn't want to do that. And then the next part where they try to get the sheriff, Terry O'Quinn, to investigate his place. He goes there when it's nighttime. And he finds that the bartender is his peacemaker bat, and then then the Reverend pops up and he's like, It's not my fault. And then he starts transforming. He hits Terry Quinn in the head with the bat. And he's just laying there. He sees him transform. Yeah, the transformation is decent though, but you don't see him transform fully though. You see like halfway through his transformation to his face, and he starts whacking him in the head with the bat, and that was it. And then it cuts back to with Marty, Uncle Red, and Jane. So he has Marty has the idea to wants to take his necklace. Even Jane's her crossed wants to morph into a silver bullet. And even Gary Busey's like, just tell me how this guy Lowe became a werewolf. He says, I don't know. And maybe he doesn't know either. That's the thing, you don't know how he became the werewolf though, which is at least they just didn't reveal it. They didn't tell anything about that though, but yeah. So goes to Uncle Red goes to a gun store and tells that oh, before that, I forgot to mention before Terry Quinn's death, the Reverend tries to kill Marty by hitting his car against Marty's wheelchair motorcycle, let's say. And yeah, there was I skipped that part there where he tries to make him go off the road and kill him though, but so I forgot to miss that part. And then he takes when we go back to Gary Busey goes to the gun store and tells the guy who is the guy who makes bullets. He's like, oh, my nephew has just discovered a Lone Ranger, and I want you to see if you can do with this. And he's like, you want a silver bullet, huh? And you see him make the silver bullet, and you have and of course you have the older Jane narrating still. Of course, he's like, it takes silver to kill a werewolf, and the store guy is showing. He's like, oh, that's a finest piece of work I've ever done. And Gary Busey's like, oh, I'm sure it's just a gag, but what can you possibly kill with a bullet made out of silver? The guy goes, how about a werewolf? So then the next night, which happens to be on Halloween night, really enough. On Halloween night, Reverend watches the kids while Marty's parents they go out, and so as the night they're just waiting for the werewolf to show up, and Uncle Red's ready to give up, and it's like, and he's like, I'm going to take you upstairs and to bed, and Marty's like, what if I say no? And he goes, then I'm going to kick your ass. Then Jane sees the werewolf outside, and Uncle Red sees nothing. He's like, a very familiar feeling is beginning to come over me. Cory Haim's like, what? That I'm beginning to feel like a horse's ass. That's what. Then the werewolf rips out the fuse box, and they hear a noise which think it's gonna come in from the other part of the house, but the werewolf crashes through the wall. And then you get the full reveal of the werewolf, which the werewolf suit is decent looking. It's not horrible though, but I would still take it over a very crappy CG werewolf anytime, especially if Sci-Fi Channel had something like. Oh, which I haven't seen that many Sci-Fi Channel CG werewolf films though, but I'll take this, even the Werewolf in Bad Moon, even American Werewolf in London, The Howling, Dog Soldiers especially. Those films are better than anything that has any sci-fi crappy CG in it. Definitely, hands down. Yeah, so the werewolf suit is decent looking, but it's not that bad. And the werewolf knocks the gun because also the bullet goes into the air vent. Marty's trying to reach into it, and Gary Busey's trying his face. He gets tossed a couple times, and he whacks it with a chair. He gets tossed again, and he gets a fire poker, starts hitting it. And there was a sound effect moment that I thought I liked, even though it was like, oh, it's not the big deal, but I don't know, it's how the way when Gary Busey gets the fire poker and he takes the first whack of the werewolf and the werewolf goes, like in pain and stuff like that. I guess that'd be like a normal, authentic werewolf noise. I was like, I don't know. I don't know why about that little moment there. Maybe it's just me though. Yeah, but it's like when Gary Busey gets that fire poker, just gets the first whack at the werewolf, I guess. But I don't know why. It's just a little moment that I thought was like, I don't know, how a werewolf noise should act when it gets hit. But he gets tossed again, and then Marty he gets the final shot. He gets the last bullet and shoots the werewolf in the other eye, and then the werewolf just transforms back into the Reverend. Like how he's it's like a decent transformation. How he's transformed back into his human form, and even Gary Busey's like, oh Jesus, hallelujah. And of course, you get the last minute pop up scare where you think the Reverend is really dead, but he does like one last scare, like reaches out for the camera like this. Ah! Yeah, something like that happens sometimes, like in a lot of horror movies, where they think the villain think is dead, but they do like a last minute jump scare until they die. And so yeah, it ends with them just the camera panning, all three of them sitting down, and the camera pans on Cory Haim and Megan follows, and it ends with older Jane finishing. It's like when Cory Haim said "I love you," and she says "I love you too," and then the older Jane's like, "I didn't say this enough, but I love you too, Marty. Good night." And then the film, and there's a credits go, and you have this it ends like on a sweet score note, I would say. Like it doesn't end like on a scary musical score, but it ends like on a sweet subtle score. I guess that was like a sweet way to end the movie, because it ends like dun, 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 dun. I'm doing a horrible job. I can't do it though, but if you get what I'm saying, usually the horror films ends on a scary note, but it ends on a sweet note. It has like a very subtle, sweet. But it's a subtle score, how it ends with. And I just want to quickly see who did the score for this. Jay Chataway. Let's look yeah, he did the score in Invasion USA, the Chuck Norris movie, which I do enjoy. Missing in Action 3, Maniac Cop, really enough, and Maniac Cop 2, The Ambulance. Yeah, but so yeah, I did like the score in the movie. Yeah, so Jay Chataway, the guy who did the score for Invasion USA and Maniac Cop, including this film, and of course I forgot Missing in Action 1 and 3. So yeah, the score I thought was pretty good, especially like how like towards the end of the movie when before the werewolf approaches, you have that eerie screech feeling, or ee. But then, and especially when the credits roll ends on a very subtle, sweet score. So yeah, I don't get what happened to the director after this. So like same thing with Robert S. Singleton was the guy who directed Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. Yeah, both of these directors, they only direct one movie each of a Stephen King film, and they never directed it again. I don't know why. Why? Because they thought they didn't do good enough, or that's maybe why the film made box office wise the film didn't make that much money. Maybe that's why. Because like Stephen King's Graveyard Shift made like 11 million, and this film made like what 12 million. Even though both have like low budgets though, but I guess they were not that big of a hit as they thought they would be. Maybe that's why they left, or maybe critically it wasn't received well. I mean, Graveyard Shift had like a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I totally disagree with because I love that movie. I give it much more higher ratings, including on IMDb. This one has like a decent 6.3 in IMDb though, but I would give it much more higher. And this one was a much more higher score than Graveyard Shift. This one was like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I would put it much more higher. And I know from the differences, it's different from what Stephen King's original novella was, but I enjoy Silver Bullet. It's another great werewolf movie. It's definitely I would definitely put this in another one of my favorites as well. Um, Gary Busey I enjoy. Cory Haim it sucks now he's now passed away from a few years ago. It totally sucks. I thought he did a wonderful job as well as Marty. Megan Follows plays his sister Jane. I thought she did fine as well. Everett McGill. I thought he did pretty good as Reverend Lowe. Um, but yeah, yeah, for the three main characters, Everett McGill, Cory Haim, Gary Busey, I thought they all did really great job. Especially because I like Gary Busey, I like Cory Haim. Like I said, I like the score. Story, I thought, even though there's differences from, even like I said, the nitpick I have where they revealed too soon about who's the werewolf. Because like I said, once that dream sequence, we know who's the werewolf because he woke up from his nightmare, and that was the Reverend. So that was like a mishap they had, because like I said, usually you only see who is the werewolf until the end of the movie, but I guess they just feel like we'll just give it away a little bit early. So yeah, that was the nitpick I have, revealing who was the werewolf a bit too soon. Because now you know he's the werewolf. Because after that, you know he has the eye patch with the missing eye. So, but the kills. He has some pretty good kills. And like the woman who was trying to commit suicide, she gets scratched up very bad. The guy at the beginning gets his head taken off. The drunken father gets like poked in right here with a piece of broken wood. And I forgot to mention, in the fog scene, there was three guys that got killed. One guy got tossed up, and the peacemaker guy hit the bat. But I forgot to mention, one guy got dragged down by the face, and when he pops back up, half his face is all practically gone. That was like a good bloody scene right there. And then Terry O'Quinn, he gets hit with the bat. Because like the first strike you get hit with the bat, you hear blood squirts out already. But yeah, you get some pretty good kills in the film for a werewolf. And the werewolf suit I thought was decent. I don't expect best quality though, because it's a low budget though, but it's decent. I don't think it was not that bad looking. I prefer the other werewolf looks from the other movies I just mentioned are better than this though, but still I don't think it's not that bad of a werewolf look. And I like the little moments where Gary Busey was fighting the werewolf, and Cory Haim gets the one hero shot, kills the werewolf. And the film is not long of a movie. It's like it's like a little over 90 minutes. Besides the end credits, it'd be like at least 90 minutes. And it's decently well paced, and it's not slow. And it's another good Stephen King movie. It's another one of my favorite films from Stephen King. Like I said, I already reviewed Christine, which is my favorite though. But they're the one. This will also be on my list of my favorite Stephen King films. So yeah. So that's my review for Stephen King's Silver Bullet. And of course, if anyone has not seen Silver Bullet, check it out. I will recommend it. But yeah, it's another good werewolf movie. Why I put say it's better than Bad Moon. I'm not entirely sure. If I would have to make a list though, but it would be if I were to make a list, I don't know which one would be better. But I had to make a list of like all the werewolf films I've seen, to which I have to say which one is better. But I'll do that one time down the road, but not now because I got a lot more to do. But one day I'll make a top list of my favorite werewolf movies, or vampires, or zombies, or any of those type of genres. So if anyone asks though, but I will try to get to those like sometime down the road though. But right now, I got my hands full because I got all the things I want to review. So, oops. But that's my review for Stephen King's Silver Bullet. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review on Halloween month. Later.